These here are the Mifo S active noise cancelling TWS earbuds with Bluetooth 5.2 tech. So they've got 3 different levels with that active noise cancellation. So strong, mild, and even a transparency mode to let and even boost sound through to your ears. So you can hear, for example, a bicycle approaching or even a car, which is great for runners and working out. The other thing that's great for runners is they do have an IPX7 waterproof rating, so you can run in the rain with these. You don't have to worry about sweat either. And the hook design means they fit very solid in your ears. They don't feel like they're going to fall out. And I haven't had any problems at all wearing these. You can jump up and down, you can run, and they are simply not going anywhere. They do have some balanced armature drivers within. The battery runtime on a single charge is up to 6 hours. And you do get an additional 36 hours from the case. Now inside the box you'll find we've got 2 large tips, 2 mediums. Mediums are already on the earbuds, and then 2 small. We get a Type A to Type C cable, it's a green one. Charge time is approximately 2 hours for the earbuds and the case, everything at the same time there. And then this, which is a user guide. Now it's very handy this because it does go over the touch control. So capacitive touch, you can cycle through the noise cancelling mode. So you have a mild noise cancellation, transparency mode, which is a pass-through mode, and then the full-on strong noise cancelling, and that's how you can go to the next track, previous track, and it also tells you how to reset them, which is handy if you are going to be pairing these up to other devices. It's quite easy to do, you just tap 3 times on the case. Because of that more solid case using metal around the outside of it, these are a little heavy. The total weight of them 83 grams, so that's a bit more than what I typically see with other earbuds. Now this case does look a little bit different, and the style of them, very busy with all the text, all these words all around the outside, sport and outdo. Well, they couldn't quite fit outdoors on there. Now I really like the mechanism. The outside of it, this is made out of tin that is painted, so it's metal on the outside, and when you press the button here, I do like the way it opens up and this mechanism. I'll show you. Just pops right up like that. Now this you do remove later on. It's just showing you again how to reset them and how to get them to pair up. So when you open it up, you can see some status LEDs in there. Now each one of those represents the charge level. So the top ones when it's fully charged, later on when it's at 70%, and then when it needs to really be charged, it's down to the lower one. So you get 36 hours out of the case and then up to 6 from the earbuds themselves. So that's a normal kind of runtime. Now I've been able to get around 5 hours, so it's not quite what their claim is, but I don't know what volume they were using or the genre of music, which of course it does kind of vary there. So on the back there is the Type-C port there, which is almost looks hidden away like camouflage there. And as I said before, it's about 2 hours to charge them. Build quality of these earbuds is excellent. There is no sharp edges with the plastics, and they feel lightweight. They're only about 5 grams each, these. And when you take a look at the rear, this part is where we do have the capacitive touch surface. That's for our control. So just single tap on them, depending on what side it is, you can control the volume up or down, triple tap for the next track, and then you hold and you can cycle through then the transparency mode and those noise cancellation modes. So there are 3 microphones in each of the earbuds, giving us 6 in total, of course. And they are handling that active noise cancellation, but also the noise cancellation for the microphones for the voice calls. Now, the silicone tips that are on this, the mediums do fit me good. Always important to make sure you've got a great seal with them. So go through the different size ones, either the small or even the large one, to make sure you get that seal. Everyone's ears are different, and when you do, the bass will really improve, and that's when you get the passive noise isolation, but also the active noise cancellation there can perform a little bit better. So they have an IPX7 water resistance, IPX6 dust proof. They run on Bluetooth 5.2 tech, and they have a balanced armature within them, which is delivering that sound. Connecting up to them is very easy. It only takes about 3 seconds. The pairing, not even that. It's so quick. Now with this phone here, it does tell me the battery capacity of them, so 100% fully charged. And they are using the ANC codec. Now, if your phone doesn't support it, you then be using the SBC codec when you use Android, that is. And onto that audio quality, how do they sound to my ears? Well, the first thing I noticed that the bass is very strong, and Mifo, they have certainly with these, the S, tuned up that bass. So the low frequencies have been boosted up. So I don't use an equalizer at all. It's completely flat here with power amp. So that's the tune out of the box, focused heavily on that bass. To me and my ears, I think at times it's a little over the top, and I personally would tone down those lows with an equalizer. The mids sound good, vocals are great, and I was surprised to hear that the treble is good. So those highs are crisp and it delivers quite a full range. I wouldn't call it balanced. They are not balanced. Even though it's using a balanced armature, it's again, that bass is definitely quite strong on these. Now, when you push up the volume, the bass doesn't distort. It doesn't interfere with the mids, and there's no clipping, there's nothing like that. The top volume on these, I think, is excellent. Now, they're not to the point where it's almost eardrum shattering, damaging, no, but good enough, I think, for most people, unless you really like to pump out super loud, but they're good. So overall, they sound excellent. It's just that the bass, I would tone it down a bit. And once I've done that, they are fantastic. What about our latency with these? Is there a noticeable delay in audio when people are talking? So streaming video content, this is Amazon Prime Video and even Netflix too that I've tested out. I'm not seeing any issues with Android phones with a modern chipset. It's in time, it's in sync, it's great. However, with the iPhone 13 Pro Max, I have seen a bit of a delay, which might be irritating to some people that watch a lot of Netflix or any streaming content.
Sample of our microphones now. So this has been recorded directly into my timeline to give you an idea of what these mics sound like. Now, I do think they're okay. I wouldn't rate them as amazing. Sometimes they do tend to clip a little bit, but you can be understood, and that is the main thing here. The important thing that you place any voice calls, you can happily converse away with other people and you will be understood.
Now these are very easy to place in your ears. You simply just pop them in. You don't have to insert them at funny angles or anything like that. And they do just fit perfectly that shape of your ear because of that hook design. I feel that these are really not going anywhere and I don't have to keep touching them and pushing them in like I do with some other TWS tech. So as soon as you put them in, there is some passive noise isolation because of the seal with the silicone tips. The mediums for me work absolutely perfectly and are good. Now when I cycle through the noise cancellation mode, so there's the strong noise cancellation, I can hear that it blocks out things like a computer fan, air conditioning noise, compressor outside, certain noises. Now I wouldn't say the noise isolation, the active noise isolation cancellation here is amazing. It's certainly not going to be as good as over-ears. The over-ear design, just the design of them too, covers so much of your ear and blocks out a lot more, and those tend to be quite a bit better. But it certainly is better than nothing. Now the pass-through mode, or the transparency mode is what they call it, is very handy. So you can hear train platform announcements if you need to. You can hear co-workers or approaching motorcycles, bikes, cars and things like that if you're out for a run or a jog. And because they do have that IPX7 waterproof rating to them, you don't have to worry about running with these in the rain. It's not going to be an issue. Disconnections. Have I had any issues with disconnections with these? None whatsoever. Now, I haven't been in any busy Bluetooth environments. So no environments where there's a lot of 2.4 gigahertz tech all connected up like a train station or an airport. In times like these, I just simply can't test that, or I would. But here with wireless on and quite a few mobile devices, I've had no problems. You get your typical Bluetooth range. It's about 5-10 meters. I can walk halfway downstairs before one of the ears will start to break up on me. Battery life. So they do claim 6 hours on a single charge, and I'm getting around 5 with these. And it's all going to be dependent on the genre of music, your volume you use, and I really don't know their test conditions. They probably only run 50% volume or even less than that, and they could just be playing classical music without a lot of, well, it's going to have no bass to it at all. So that, again, is going to affect that battery life, which I think is decent. And then you get about an additional 6 charges out of the case. Now, the case design, the hinge, the way it pops up, I really do like it. It's a solid case. Yes, it's a little heavier than other brands, but I think it really feels really good. The build quality is great with this. And then the sound of these, the balanced armature and the tune that they've given them definitely leans towards more powerful bass. So certain genres of music like dance or anything that's got a lot of bass to it, or even just watching Netflix episodes with big explosions, I do sometimes find the bass to be a little bit overpowering. Now there's a simple fix when you do have a graphic equalizer like Power Amp, for example, which is the music player that I use, I just tone down that bass a little bit. And then I think that these do sound fantastic. So really, once I do that, they do sound pretty balanced to me. So good vocals, bass then is perfect, and the highs are detailed and crisp. So excellent sound from these here. And then you can push that volume, as I mentioned, quite high. Not super high levels that you can damage your ears, but I think for most people it's going to be adequate. All up, I do believe that these are an excellent product here from Mifo. The S is definitely aimed towards people for sports, but they're good sound quality, decent battery life, and it's just that fit. They are super solid, they're going absolutely nowhere, and they don't look too ugly, not a massive huge air hook on them, and they are not sticking out a lot at all. So thank you so much for watching my review here of the Mifo S.